You ever wonder what actually makes you unique? Now, this one is a really tough question because it can be difficult to kind of self assess and determine what really is unique about you, especially when there's lots of people that do what you do. And so, I want to share with you a framework that I use with my clients. And this is a great way just to be able to kind of expand your thinking and to be able to look under different rocks to see if you can find maybe some different places where uniqueness lives. Because I think oftentimes people go to the same kind of areas to be able to find differentiation. And sometimes it's helpful just to expand that. So the framework is solve. And if we break it down real quick, the S in solve is system. And so the idea is when you think about what you do and you think about how you service your clients, what you want to think about is, do you have a system that seems different than most people in the industry, right? So sometimes the way that you do it, your framework, your process, etc., there can be differentiation within that system. So this is a good place to look to say, can I find some difference? The second thing, and people don't often think about this one, but this is origin. And not necessarily, hey, I started this business on this day and here's the history of the business. It's more about you as an individual. Like, what is your origin story? And what I mean by that is, say that you are in an industry, but you used to be an ER nurse, or you used to be an architect, or something like that, right? And so a lot of times differentiation comes from the idea that we are unique as people and we have kind of a unique set of skill sets. And when you look at your origin story, sometimes that can help you stand out. For example, I used to work in finance, and when I got my finance job, I was the first person that they had hired in the last 15 years that didn't have a finance degree. And part of the reason is that the hiring manager liked my origin story. He liked that I was going to be able to bring something different to the table versus other people. So for other hiring managers, that might have been a massive like red X for me, but in that case, it actually got me the job. So think about your unique origin story, and does that somehow separate you in the minds of your prospects? The next one is lens. And so lens is really how you see the world. So a lot of times where differentiation lives is you just have a unique viewpoint. Like, you see things maybe differently than other people in the industry. And that can be the difference, right? And so this is a really good one to say, really think about how you view the work, how you view what you do, and do you feel like there's something unique in that perspective, in your unique perspective? The next one is vibe. And this one can be a little bit loose, but the fact is, right? So when you're dealing with a vendor, when you're dealing with a company, it can be a really good vibe or it can be a negative vibe. And you know it, right? So it's kind of an intangible thing. But if you feel like, hey, my customers tell me time and time again, it just feels different, that means that you're probably creating an environment that they enjoy. And so if you can really think about, why is it that, when I do what I do, it feels different from my clients, that might be something that you can lean into and really build out even further. And then the last one is experience. And so experience is similar to vibe, but I think from an experience perspective, it's really thinking about every single touch point with the client from the first moment that you talk to them all the way through kind of delivery of whatever you do, whatever your solution is. And so you want to think about the full experience, right? Because I think a lot of times people narrow in on just one part of the experience and they don't think about the rest, right? So for example, if you were a restaurant, part of the experience is, what is it like to park? What is it like to get in? What is it like to check in, right? So there's these little things that don't feel like they're part of differentiation, but it is, right? These are things that can either negatively or positively kind of influence your customers. And so you want to think about the full experience, and is there something that you're doing in this full experience that is different and better for your customers? So this is really quickly that solve framework. And what I encourage you is treat each one of these as kind of a self-reflective question and really think about each one of these deeply that says, do I have differentiation in any of these? And if you don't, maybe what it allows you to do is start to brainstorm new things that you can do that would create some separation in any of these 5 letters.